guys, well, I got it. I actually ended up going to the Rockefeller Center, New York City store to get the NES Classic. I actually had pre-ordered one from Target, but when I moved, it wouldn't let me change my address, and I had to cancel and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. All a pain in the ass. But bottom line is I got it. NES Classic Edition. So, I do kind of love the callback to the original box. The retro blast to the past. They're really trying to cash in on anything retro, huh? But, yeah, let's pop this thing open. I'll do my best to do an unboxing, but I don't really have any of my tripod or any of my equipment with me, so this is going to be kind of, thrown together, but... Comes with... So that's kind of cool. It's a poster of the original Rob the Robot setup. And on the back is the instructions, which pretty much just say plug the damn thing in and turn it on. Warranty and a bunch of that My Nintendo stuff. I don't know if the rewards are as good as the other program, but hey. The box in here. Take out the NES Classic itself. This thing is tiny. I mean, it looks cool. It looks just like a NES. This thing doesn't move at all. But I mean, it's literally like here's my iPhone. The iPhone is a little bit taller than this thing is wide, and it's way taller than anything else. So that's it's a good perspective on the size of this thing. And let's see what else we got in here. We got the controller. Looks and feels just like a Nintendo controller. And let's see if the cord is as short as everybody says it is. Yeah, I mean, it's shorter than the stock console's cord. I'll do a comparison of that in a minute, but yeah, so it's almost exactly as wide as the controller. So that should be a good, kind of a good gauge of how tiny this thing is. And inside here, it just comes with the, that's the USB power adapter. And then in here, HDMI and USB cable to power it. So, not bad. Let's see what else this thing has. Okay, so I have an original NES controller here and the NES Classic. And they seem pretty identical. I think the new one's just a hair heavier. I don't really have any of my stuff at all with me. I don't even have my postage scale, but let's check out length of cable. So I'll just... Alright, so the original Nintendo cable is... Okay. It is almost 3 times the length. So it's just about an inch short of 3 times the length. So I don't know what the hell Nintendo was thinking with that one, but that's weird. I'll have to pull this thing out and leave it like on the middle of my floor in order to be able to play it. But, oh well. So as you can imagine, before I even turn this thing on, I want to open it up. So on the bottom, you just remove the little rubber feet that's on there, and then it comes right out. So I'm gonna snap some detailed pictures of this, and I'm also gonna put it up for video too. So just stay tuned 1 second, and let me get this thing apart. Okay, so I got everything unbolted. So you remove a heatsink, and then it looks just like the pictures posted. People had leaked online, and that chip is where the heatsink was on, and that's labeled R16. Yeah, R16. And then if you flip it over on the back, there's really just one chip, which I'm assuming is the HDMI output chip. I could be wrong though, but that's the can't really read it. I'll have to take a picture of it and see the picture. But other than that, it's just everything else you'd expect. It's just the little control modules for the power button and for the input of the controllers. So let me bolt it back together and give it a try. Okay, I just got it plugged in, and the first thing it boots to is languages. So then it goes right to the main menu. This is the one that we've seen in a lot of reviews, so I'm going to go through it very, very quickly. Pixel perfect mode 4x3, and then the CRT filter. I'll start with that, with the regular 4x3. Okay. Language, legal notices, manuals. Okay. Why would they even have that there? But whatever. Oh, that's kind of neat. It actually lists if it's a one-player or a two-player game. I guess I'd never really paid attention to that. The down arrow brings you to suspend point list, so that's pretty much it then. Let's try. So B does nothing. Select sorts by publisher, title, two-player games, recently played, publisher, by title. Alright, that's kind of cool. Alright, so I guess I'm going to just play a very quick round of Super Mario Brothers 1, because why not? Because everybody knows the game. But remember, at this point, I'm playing through a capture card, so I'll probably die immediately. But everything looks good. I mean, there's nothing jumping right out at me as terrible. The controller feels good, too. Huh. Alright, well, I mean, I'll throw some comparison shots up here, but for the most part, it just feels like Nintendo, which I guess is a good thing. Let's see what happens. So, how do you access those save states? So I'm gonna hit. Can you see this? I'm just gonna hit. Well, is it paused? Yeah, I must have hit pause while it was still going. So I just unpaused it. I will hit reset. And reset brings it back to the menu. So that's cool. You could add a save point. That's pretty neat. Let me see what happens when you turn it off. Shutting down. Alright, so it is a mini computer in here. I figured a good way to really test it out would be to play a little bit on my Panasonic Plasma and play one game on the NES Classic versus another game on the AVS. But the shortness of the cable really comes into play now. I mean, check it out. I have to pretty much put this between my legs and barely have enough room to pull the controller close to me. Whereas the AVS with the normal controller, look how much slack I have. I mean, I could just put the AVS on the floor and not even actually need it there. So this, kind of brings up the point that it was a really stupid idea to make it a short cable, but oh well. Let me give this thing a shot, and then I'll come back to you with my final conclusions. So in order to test, I just played Mega Man 2 in the Bubble Man level, specifically because it's got that weird underwater with the spikes on the ceiling thing, because it's kind of hard to control, and I bet that would probably be a great way to test it. And I think it paid off, because I could definitely tell a difference. But I guess I'll just run through my experience pretty quickly. The short cable for the controller wasn't as bad as I thought. All I had to do is just kind of make sure not to kick the NES Classic off. Still would have really liked it if it was longer, but whatever. As far as the scanline filters go, the CRT filter on the NES Classic makes it look exactly like you're playing on a shitty old TV in composite video. If that's what you're going for, awesome, you're going to be thrilled. But I don't play on shitty old TVs with composite video. I play on Sony BVMs and, now through the OSSC. So, it's not for me, which is fine. The AVS obviously has its just straight up scanline filter, which sometimes I'm in the mood for, sometimes I'm not, but it's just preference. As far as the actual look of the game goes, now that's without any filters on, I set up the AVS to look as close to the 4x3 mode as possible, which is 2 from the left if you're setting it up in the menu, and the AVS was definitely clearer. It's not that the NES Classic was blurry, but there was something up with it. You know, and you could kind of see it in the comparison pics that I have up on the website as well. If you zoom in, you know, as far as you can, I guess, in MS Paint, you could kind of see how the colors get a little strange with the NES Classic. And I think somebody with a better eye, maybe Firebrand X, as soon as he gets a chance to, he'd be able to explain it better. So I'll update the page and put a link in this video on if anybody could explain exactly why it's kind of weird like that. But the thing that really kind of got it for me was the lag. And I know you guys are probably sick of hearing me say this because I bring it up constantly, but when you're playing that level in Bubble Man, you know, where the physics is weird. So you hit the button on the controller and there's a delay because you're underwater and everything. That to me is very easy to detect where the lag is. And on the AVS, it was much less. You know, my plasma's got about 2 frames of lag. And I would assume that the NES Classic probably only has 1, but now it's 3 versus 2. So I don't know. There's no way I could really test it. If anybody has a slow motion camera, a good one, not the one built into your iPhone, an actual real slow motion camera, I would love to see the results of it. But I don't. All I have is my iPhone. So I guess my conclusion for this is for $60, if you're looking for a little blast of nostalgia, it's awesome. I mean, it does everything you would need. You know, all the options that somebody who just kind of wants to play a couple of the old games would want, and the price is perfect. I mean, even if you already own a Wii U, you know, those games are what, like $5 to $8 a piece or something, and sometimes you can get them on sale. But still, you know, it's for $60 to have all those games built in. You know, even if you get them all for $2 a piece, that's the same thing, and you have to buy a Wii U. So I would recommend it for anybody that just kind of wants to play those older games for a little bit. Me personally, for any hardcore retro gamer, I would say, you know, don't really buy it. You know, an AVS with an EverDrive is a lot more expensive, but it's a lot better. And then, you know, even more money, you can get a high-def NES mod for your other Nintendo. And then even more than that, you can get yours RGB modded and run it through a FrameMeister or something. So it really just depends how far into the rat hole you want to go. But if you're already doing retro gaming and you already have the equipment, there's no reason for you to buy this other than you might find it neat and want to just leave it on your shelf or something. But, you know, for casual gamers, I highly recommend it. Certainly way better than a Retron 5. But, you know, for hardcore gamers, definitely just stick with the stuff that's already been out for a little while. So any comments or criticism, please, as always, feel free to post in the comments, and I'd really appreciate anybody's opinion on this. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep mine for a while. Usually when I get any new equipment, it tends to get put in the mail immediately to any of my friends that also want to test it and review it for their websites and YouTube channels. So as long as I still have it, I'll gladly test anything anybody wants me to. And I'll post an update video if I find any differences or maybe if I change my mind or something. But as of now, that's, you know, on launch day with only a few hours playing, that's kind of how I feel about the console. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys next time.